Hey everyone.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to I can start now, right?
Yeah, we're live. They're like seeing us as we sit here.
Okay, welcome to the Buzzing About Romance Happy Hour edition. Tonight we are celebrating author Kelly Kay, who is pouring her drink as we speak. Do you want to read her bio for us, Becky?
I do. Kelly is a writer, married to a writer, and mother of a creative dynamo of a 10-year-old boy and currently a little sleepy. She's a klutz and a goofball and loves lipstick as much as her Chuck Taylors. Good things in the world: pepperoni pizza, flare pens, wine, coffee, coffee, laughing with friends until my stomach hurts, a musician at the top of their game, getting lost somewhere she has never been, matinee movies on a weekday, the Chicago Cubs, a fresh new notebook full of possibilities, bourbon on a cold night, fantasy football, witty men walking through the local zoo in the rain, and that moment when a character clicks in and begins to write their own adventure. She likes to say she is just the pen. I also should say that there is a note that the purple flare pen is the best flare pen.
Yes. And a character trait of one of my characters.
Those are fighting words right there. The purple pen is the best.
Take it up with Tess, inside piece.
So,
Hi.
Welcome to Happy Hour, Kelly. Hey, everybody who's watching along. Oh, I see Tanya's here. Hi, Miss Tanya. Okay, so we're going to kick this. Oh, rules of the night. I'm sorry, Leah, give us the rules of the night. I'm like,
the rules of the night.
What we're doing.
It's okay. You can ask all the questions you want in the chat. Becky and I will try and get to them because sometimes we don't pay attention to the chat as close as we should, but we will try. So if you have a question you want to ask Kelly, put it in the chat and we will do our best to answer them all. Kelly.
I was just going to say, if we don't get to questions and they really, really want to know the answers, it's not hard to find me.
Well, and if you just drop us a message, we can get you directly to Kelly. But right. So Kelly, what are you drinking tonight?
I currently just poured a New York sour.
What is a New York sour?
It is a whiskey sour.
Looks so fancy.
Isn't it pretty?
Fancy.
And then you take a very fruity red wine, and I took a Côte d'Aron and a spoon, and you pour it over the back of the spoon, and you layer it over the whiskey sour, and that's why it looks pretty.
Okay, Kelly, there is a bar in Chicago, and legit, I am simply coming to this bar, or coming to Chicago to drink in this bar. And I cannot remember the name of it, but they're famous for the is it the Aviary? Is that the bar?
The Aviary.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
With the crazy
we'll go hang out with Kelly, and then we can go to the bar.
Yeah, I want to go to that bar in Chicago. Sandy has joined us, and she's been drinking it all day. Oh, hi, yes, Sandy. Kelly has been drinking all day, we're pretty sure. And Tanya, yes, I am a pretty princess. You can see because I'm wearing a tiara.
So. And Danica loves your crown.
And Danica loves my crown. Okay, hi, and Danica. So would you guys like to know what I'm drinking? I am, in honor of tomorrow night being book club, drunk book club, which is the best day of the month. Yes. The best day. I am having a cotton candy margarita. It is a margarita with cream soda filled with cotton candy. Like, look at all the diabetes go right there. Anyway, Leah, what are you drinking?
I am drinking, excuse me. I am drinking my take on a Paloma. It is tequila and it's supposed to be grapefruit and soda water, but I don't have plain soda water. So I made a Paloma with grapefruit, pomegranate, and dragon fruit. So making it extra fancy tonight.
Maybe you should have made that with like one of those Trulies. Then it'd be like double the alcohol. I'm just saying.
I should have. I have done that before.
That's like making Mike's Hard Lemonade a mixer.
Isn't it?
It is.
Wait, it Kelly?
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, maybe.
All
right,
no.
Hold on. Real quick note. Charlie, if you're still watching, hi, honey, go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Charlie said woo crown. So if you see Kelly in the chat, it's Charlie. Thanks for hanging out, Charlie.
Real quick before Charlie leaves, hey, happy birthday, buddy. I hope you had a fantastic birthday. I know it was your mama's release day, but 10's a pretty big deal, double digits. So
We have a double digit in our house now too, so we
saw
understand the big
Charlie
deal.
says no. He's not going to bed. He says no.
No.
Hey, tell Daddy you're still watching.
Yes, Tanya, Mike did make me my cotton candy margarita because he is the ultimate bartender. Okay, so the rule, we did all that, right? We did what we're drinking.
Okay,
Here we
in the
go.
description of the video are the links to all the places you can connect with. If you follow, like, and subscribe at the end of the night, then one lucky person will win a swag-filled box from us. And we have a special giveaway tonight that we will do at the end. But I think Becky is keeping track of all this, but we have the opportunity to give you one of each copy. Oh, look at that. Look at that list of all 5 of Kelly's Sonoma Winery series. So it's going to be the e-copy of each one. It's Crushing.
Can you do it?
Rootstock.
Rootstock.
Uncorked. Then
Over a barrel. Under the bus.
Which came out on Wednesday.
Yes. Okay, so I just have to talk about real quick your cover of Rootstock.
Please
My husband saw that inside and he's like, "That's naughty." I'm like, "That's amazing." It's like perfect. I loved it.
All 5 of those covers were done by a friend of mine named Tim Hogan, who when I started talking about launching, trying to write these stories that were in my head, we got to chatting and he said, "Who's doing your covers?" And I was like, "No one at the moment."
No one.
And I'm like, "I don't know what I want to do." I knew that I wanted them to look different than what was out there.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that was a risk because covers that have pictures on them sell more than illustrated right now. So, but I wanted them to stand on their own. And he came up with a lot of those concepts. I gave him the directive of I wanted like old time Playboy cartoons crossed with Saul Bass movie posters from like the 60s.
Wow, he
love
did
them.
it. They turned out really good.
Over a Barrel and Under the Bus were actually his idea of an inspiration from Andy Warhol, actually, who drew covers for jazz albums for the Blue Note. And so that's where all that came from. So he hand drew those.
No,
amazing.
Those are, I love your
these are
covers.
pretty incredible. And I'm very, very grateful.
Charlie says, "Bye, mommy." And I believe that Eric is on the couch watching with him. So he is aware of our shenanigans. Does this mean we have to behave?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
Eric.
Yeah, okay. Because we don't even know how to do that. So in the chat, I did put Kelly's Instagram. If you are not following her on Instagram, you totally should follow her on Instagram. You get to see all her Bottle Crush Mondays that she shares and all the wines she likes to drink and fun writer shenanigans. So totally encourage you to follow her on Instagram. Danica, we can't behave. We cannot, Danica.
No, we cannot.
This is like live Drunk Book Club. This is why we don't stream Drunk Book Club, people. You just have to come because we'd be crazy. So, Kelly, let's help everyone get to know you. Why am I doing Leah's job?
I don't know. It's just you're just taking charge tonight. So
Just
tell
take it
us,
over.
Kelly. Tell us a little bit about Kelly. Kelly.
I grew up. No, I'm originally from Pennsylvania.
Me too.
Where?
Outside of Pittsburgh.
Okay,
Wait, I was born in Pennsylvania. Did you guys know that? I was born in Pennsylvania too.
No.
There's
Outside
3
Philly.
PAs here.
Yeah.
Outside
And
Philly.
Danica.
And Danica.
I grew up in a town called Easton, near Allentown, Bethlehem, kind of north of Philly.
Okay.
And
Wait, is that where Easton shoes are from?
no,
Oh, never mind.
crayons, Crayola crayons.
Crayola crayons.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I mean, that's better than Easton shoes, but
Yeah.
I can still make an
baseball
Easton
hat.
knot, in case anybody was wondering. And I can peg jeans like it's 1988.
Nice.
Anyway, so Kelly was born in Pennsylvania.
No, I was born in Germany, but I grew up in Pennsylvania. I know, it's crazy. And then I don't know. I went to college at Florida State University, and still lots of friends down there. My family's down there, some of them. I came to Chicago and worked at the Second City for a little bit, comedy theater, in which I was a barback and a host and all kinds of things. But I met my husband there. And so I did about 1,000 different jobs there, never on the main stages or anything, but wrote in every black box theater and improvised in every basement in Chicago for a good solid amount of time. Then my husband and I, he's a writer, he's a journalist. So he used to do a lot of celebrity interviews and magazine pieces. He still does some of those, but he does a lot more work with books now, nonfiction books. And what else? We moved a lot before Charlie, like a lot, like once a year. So LA and Florida and Northern Michigan and then Chicago again. We've lived in Chicago 4 separate times.
You just keep coming back.
Yeah. And then Sonoma. We lived in Sonoma, where I ran in another life, I used to run film festivals. And so I ran a wine, food, and film festival in Sonoma, knowing nothing about wine and faking my way into the job. And then I was assigned, okay, go to meet the winemaker and tell him what we're looking for this screening. I'm like, okay. So I go there and he's like, well, what are you looking for? And I'm like, I need your help. I don't know. And so
you have to teach it all.
And they did. Every winemaker, every sommelier, vintner, grower would teach me something else. Or they're like, okay, come barrel taste. I'm like, I don't know what that is. So it was this like amazing education in wine, specifically more California wine than anything else, obviously. But so that's
pretty awesome.
Me for a moment.
That's pretty cool. So what's it like living with another author?
It's fine. No, it's great. I mean,
we'll get the real answer tomorrow night at Drunk Book Club.
Seriously.
Every frustration you have is completely understood. So every little tiny victory can be celebrated because the other person knows what a little victory that is, or anything to that effect. And so it's good. I mean, I write fiction and he writes nonfiction. And but I think he is working on some fiction at the moment, which is pretty amazing. So I'm very excited.
Awesome.
Yeah,
do you foresee you guys writing a book together, maybe?
No.
Okay.
No.
There was no thought to that.
As codependent as we are, and we are codependent. There's just, we like our own little corners of the world, even if it's our own corner of the couch.
Yeah.
Okay. So. It's on the record now. So like in 2 years when Kelly's like, Becky, Eric and I decided to write a book together. I could be like, Kelly, you remember on April the 9th, 2021, when you told me no.
So Kelly, I think this is the most important question of the night. What is your favorite color of chucks?
Oh, I am partial to, and this is weird, gray.
Really?
Because I think they go with everything.
Gray. Just like gray sparkle?
Gray. Like gray, a dark gray.
Now, but high top or low top?
Oh, see, I'm not, either is fine.
Okay. See, this is good.
Yeah,
Becky's like,
I'll
I don't
go
care.
either way.
The girl child is really into chucks, like loves them. But then she found these sparkly shoes on Amazon, and now we own like 60 pairs of mermaid shoes on Amazon. So whatever.
I mean, they have sparkly chucks.
They do.
We know.
I've had mine monogrammed. Before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and on the tongue, just a big KK. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's next level, people.
That is next level. I just keep mine forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have one pair. They're navy blue. That's it. That's all I got. I'm so bored.
I'm disappointed in you.
Well, currently I'm in Birkenstock season, so that's all I'm wearing. Long Birkenstock.
It's time
Hi,
to get
Carolina.
pair of Nike flip-flops.
And
Okay, Kelly.
Sandy, hey, hold on. Sandy says peg jeans are coming back, so it's a good thing you remember how to do it.
It is. It is. So I'm like on the
This is my
cusp.
center part.
I'm not a center parter, although currently it is because of the tiara, which might have to come off because it's squeezing my brain and, you know. Anyway. 12 pairs of Mary Janes. Melissa says, hi, Kelly, and she has 12 pairs of Mary Janes.
That's
Nice.
That's commitment.
that is
Okay,
commitment.
Kelly, we know this answer, but for everybody else, are you a reader of romance?
I am a reader of romance, but I wasn't for a very long time. It was in high school when I read, anything on my mom's shelf, from Danielle Steele to Judith Krantz, which I really loved. And then actually there's a Judith Krantz Easter egg in every one of my books. Just so you know.
I didn't even pick up on those.
Random little thing. In each series. In Rootstock, Elle talks about her mom and she and her mom when they were little, going through fashion magazines. And so I reference Buttons and Bows, which is a magazine from Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't for a long time. And I mean, I read Twilight and I read, the big ones that kind of burst through for a while. And then I had been writing books and trying to get published traditionally for a while. And my sister and friends of hers had all read them, and friends, other friends of mine. And they're like, this is great. And I just kept getting turned down because agents and publishers would say, I'm not this or that. They're like, you're not quite romance and you're not quite women's fiction. So my sister sent me, and her friend Cindy, our friend Cindy, sent me a list of women to read and books to read that they were kind of obsessive about, and said, you can do this. This is what you just shift. Give us the male perspective. Don't make it just a female journey.
Yeah.
And give us the couple. And I was like, okay. So I read a lot as I prepped to do this. I read entire canons of people to be inspired and to figure out how to do this particular thing. So some of the first women I read were Vi Keeneland and T.K. Lee and Kay Lindy, on the record series. I'm trying to think, Megan March, kind of Laura Lynn Page, kind of those guys. So I went through them. Then I found Pippa. Then I found Lily Valente, and I read all of those. And then Stacey Hart. And I just kept finding as many people. I was trying to keep pivoting. Like I wanted to keep going from like Althea Romig to Pippa Grant, so that I could see what the spectrum is and where I fit into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it does. It does. It's trying to find your voice. Okay, my head is being squeezed to death. So that has to come up. It does make sense because it gives you also, it shows you what's out there, what people are doing, how they're making their stories unique. And it's not so much that you're trying to copy them, but you're just trying to figure out where your voice is.
No, I mean, and as I started to figure out kind of what I wanted to write first, I adapted a book that I wrote into a duet that was the second, kind of stuff that I wrote, Shock Mountain Crossfade. But I really wanted to do a series. Like I really wanted to create a small town. And I kept thinking, like, I'm not a small town. Like I'm not Serena Bowen. I'm not going to write about Vermont. I'm not that. But having lived in Sonoma, it always felt like a small town. So everybody knew everybody, and everybody knew everybody's business. And there were all those quirky little personalities and stuff. So after I read Megan March's Beneath the Mask, Beneath the Chains, Beneath all that stuff, and it was all set in New Orleans, and it created kind of a little world. And I was like, what if I created wineries?
Yeah.
So That's where the 5 came from.
But you do create kind of this small town feel, these interconnected families that have been a part of each other's lives and doing things with each other. And, they know all the things going on in everyone's business and stuff. So it does create that small town vibe
Thanks.
without it being specifically
because you
in that town.
you almost create like the 5 families or like a town unto themselves.
That was my goal. And then have them to pull in the different people, like in Crushing, Elle comes into that world, and Sammy comes in the first. She's the girlfriend of a guy named Sam. And then in Over a Barrel and Under the Bus, it was Tabby and Bax were always going to be Tabby and Bax in my mind, like when I created them, just because I loved that they were so opposite in my head. So
they're really great characters. So real quick, before we go on to the next question, I am going to put Kelly's Amazon link into the chat. Amazon, following an author on Amazon is just as great as giving them a review, although you should also give them reviews. But it helps you as a reader find out when books are being put up for pre-order, when books are up on release day if you forget to pre-order. It also helps the author with their search algorithm. So follow your favorite authors on Amazon. Give Kelly a follow since she is also one of your favorite authors. Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting so much better at these little commercials. Like,
I know. I just sit back and listen.
yeah.
So Kelly, what was your last 5-star read?
I have 2. I kind of read them at the same time. The Takeover by T.L.
Okay.
Just discovered this person. I am so in love with them. I read the oh gosh, what was it? The crossover? The Takeover?
Stopover?
Stopover and then Takeover. And that's all I've read of hers, and I'm about to go a little crazy.
You're going down the rabbit hole?
Yeah, I'm going to go down that rabbit hole.
Allison says the one you just sent me was your last 5-star.
That's my sister.
Hey, sister. She's one of our Patreons, but she never hangs out with us.
She will.
Allison, come hang out with us. We're a lot of fun.
Is she coming tomorrow? She should come tomorrow.
We're a lot of fun.
I don't think she read it.
You don't have to read.
That's okay.
Wait, I'm sorry.
And then not a genre I read until I started to go down the entire romance ladder, where you're like, what's that? Root Rot Academy by Rhea Watson.
Oh, you were talking about this one.
Normal reverse harem.
It's got a little bit of everything.
A warlock and a vampire. And I loved it. It was a trilogy and I loved it. And not because it's so weird or sexy or hot. It is. But she writes so well. Like, it's just so vivid. It's like watching a movie, and the world building is so good, and the characters are so I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I remember you telling us about that the last time we were talking about books.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite trope, either to read or to write?
I'm a big fan of enemies to lovers. It's so much more fun to write banter.
Yeah.
And it's fun to read it when it's done really well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think it's a blast. And writing it is so much fun. And that was Crushing. Those 3.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of banter and side piece, but they're never enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Never enemies, but there's a lot of banter. That was fun.
Banter is always good.
Yeah. I got to write another banter book.
Maybe next.
So,
what trope are you least likely to write? Or is there nothing that you're willing to?
Probably not going to go down the reverse harem on that for me. I just don't think.
You just broke Heather's heart. You just broke her heart.
All right. for Heather, I will figure it out.
There you go.
Or anything with like, my stepdad was in the Navy. That's the most exposure to the military that I really have. So I don't think I could do kind of a military thing justice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I would do that. But I'm working on a secret baby book.
Ooh, Becky's favorite.
I love a secret baby. Sandy says reverse harems are so fun. Why does the heroine have to pick? She also says, I love Side Piece. That was my first Kelly book. And Carolina says, do an RH novella.
That's a good idea.
It's an idea. So before we get to the next question, I am going to put in the chat our link to TikTok. Which I went down. I did nothing today. Like, I did dishes and drank coffee.
And TikTok.
And TikTok.
You talked to me today.
I did talk to Leah, and we booked some upcoming events that are going to be a lot of fun. So everybody stick around and hang out with us.
You did some work this morning.
But mostly I spent my day on the couch watching TikTok. Tanya says, I love the idea of reverse harem, but haven't read a well-written one yet. Oh, Tanya, we'll get you some book
send you
recs.
Recommendations.
Yeah. Tanya's another one that's a part of our Patreon, but doesn't come to Drunk Book Club. That's
when you get all the good book recs.
She's my oldest friend, but we're only 24. So, you know.
So you've only known each other for like 10 years.
10 years. That's it. Just 10 years. Because I'm only 24.
Quick 10. I'm 26.
We'll see, like the older sister. She says she's coming tomorrow. Woo woo! Yay! Yay! We're so excited. Okay, so what's next?
So don't worry, I got it. I got this. So Kelly, are you a pantser or a planner, or a mix of both?
I'm kind of a combination of both. I didn't know that there was a term for when you think of random things, you just write that. I didn't know that pantser was a thing until I was like, oh yeah, I'm that. But I get to a point where I freak out. Like right now I have probably 150 pages of the next book.
Okay.
None of them are in order. They are simply, I thought of a chapter that would go in there that might amuse me or push the plot along. Like I wrote something really sad today because I thought of it and I'm like, oh, that should be in that book. But that it's just in the middle somewhere. So I will freak out probably in about 2 weeks, in which I will start putting sticky notes up and get graphs and charts.
You like to sticky note your windows.
I do. I write on my windows.
Like I'm going to buy you some window pins. I'm buying you window pins because this is when she'll call me and she'll be like,
I literally, it's like a flow chart. Right now, the other day I had to take down Bax's campaign, which was on my window of like who works and does what. And, but then I do like a flow chart almost, like a big square, like it's got to be this and then this and this and this. So I will get to an outline eventually to make sure I haven't missed anything. And then the sticky notes that went up and down the thing in I don't even know. It's technically a dresser, but it has our dishes in it right now because it's in
a buffet.
A buffet.
A side table or what else?
It's a buffet. It's like a long
buffet.
And so I put, when Under the Bus was done, every chapter on a sticky note in order, and then moved the order around, and then realized there was redundancy, and then scrapped half the sticky notes.
There we go.
Yeah, and
so you're a little mix.
You stick those in a Google Doc, and there is bonus material.
It's just, it's the Kelly chaos.
Yes. It's the Kelly chaos. Carolina says Becky will have your TBR list blowing up. Watch out. Yeah, that's a true story. Just before we came on this
We're not
live,
sorry either.
I actually am working on a website posting that'll go up tomorrow that is a list of over 100 free books currently on Amazon. So
You're
that
welcome.
will go up tomorrow. You're welcome. Danica says truth. My mom says, oh, I'm sorry I'm late, but she is here. So welcome to
Hi, Lynn.
the live, Lynn. You've missed me and my crown. And then Melissa is one of our new Patreons. Well, welcome to Patreon, Melissa.
Hi.
Thanks for joining the chaos. We're happy to have you. Anyway, it's kind of a shit show, but we're a good time.
Little chaotic tonight, but it's Kelly, so it works out good.
I know, that's what I told Mike.
Like big balloons.
Look
My
at her
sister
pretty.
was there. She sent half of these.
Thanks, Allison. I didn't get balloons. That's all I'm saying.
We didn't have balloons either.
You also weren't 10. They weren't for me.
But I have the 10. I have a 10 now.
Mine are way older than 10. Okay, so I did TikTok. What's next? Let's join Kelly on Binge Books. Kelly is one of the authors featured currently on Binge Books. Binge Books is a new book author website, similar to Goodreads, but a lot more interactive, a lot more accessible. So if you haven't joined Binge Books, we highly recommend you give it a check out.
It's really cool.
It is really, really cool. It was started by
Just
a group of
launched,
authors.
like a couple months ago, didn't it?
Well, it was in beta testing until like the first part of February, I think. So I've been beta testing it for the last 6 months. So it's kind of a neat site. It's very interactive. It's lots of little audio clips and book, like you can go over and check out first page type book stuff from Amazon. And
Let me ask you guys a question. So a couple of people have approached me about audiobooks. Is this something that I need to figure out? What does everybody think?
You know,
I mean, I don't like an audiobook, but it's because I can read it a lot faster than I can listen to it.
Yeah, same here.
And I don't like that.
So the piece with audiobooks, and Danica is the one who brought this to my attention, and so I will give Danica Flynn the credit here. My mother says yes, please. My mother is much more an audiobook listener than she is a reader these days. But Danica was the one who brought this to my attention. By doing audiobook, you make yourself accessible to everyone. So because people that, aren't necessary, people with reading comprehension issues, or people that, have sight, issues.
Hey, Danica, thank you.
Although Carolina will say, if you go the audiobook route, be very picky about your narrators. We just were having a discussion in our Discord chat for the Patreon earlier today. So if you're part of Patreon, when you join our Patreon, you get to be in our Discord channel, and we chat in there. And today we were talking about audio narrators and how sometimes a narrator can ruin a book.
Ooh.
Yeah, because there have been a few who are listening to a book right now, and a lot of them they're very disconnected from the book because they don't like the female narrator and feel that she's almost ruining the book for them.
Oh.
So Danica says it's very expensive to do an audiobook. So I guess it's a matter of maybe weighing your pros and your cons there.
Okay.
Or if you have an in with somebody that who does it, then you always have that too. You never know.
Surprise me.
I know tons of people who love them. I personally no, but
I did.
But Becky, she said when they moved, she listened to them while she unpacked and packed their old house.
Yeah. Well, and this week I was doing a lot of sorting. We're getting ready to do, Mike's building us new desks for the office back here to kind of make recordings and stuff a little easier for the podcast. And I actually listened to an audiobook that Heather and I are going to do a quick shot on. And it was really nice. I mean, I like to have an audiobook to listen to, but I have to be physically active when I listen to an audiobook. I can't just plug it in, listen. I can't listen to it if I'm trying to type something.
Yeah, I know.
So
my mother
Sandy
says,
Sandy says Alexa can read any book on Kindle for you, but there's no inflection, so it can make it funny. Could you imagine reading like Tabby in Alexa voice? Just flat.
I'm going to do that on a TikTok for you, Kelly.
I want to hear that, please.
I'm going to do the sassiest thing I can.
I'm trying to think what she
just anytime she's flipping out on backs, like it'll be perfect.
No, I think from Over a Barrel when she flips out on Shauna and is like completely like sarcastic and snotty to her. Oh no, wait, the Goose Pond. When she's in the goose pond.
It's a duck pond.
The duck pond. I thought it was goose.
Duck pond in the plaza, and I actually almost got arrested for being on a duck.
For doing that?
That is true.
Kelly.
So there's a little bit of Tabby in
that. Just a touch. Tabby is my
alter ego.
I wish I had been, I guess. Like I wish I had been as self-aware at 13 as she was of who she was and not giving a shit about. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just going to do this and either come along for the ride or fuck off. Like, I kind of wish that I had been her at 13. I wasn't.
I wish I was her at 37.
I didn't really get my, love me or leave me. Like, I don't really care or need you until probably mid-20s. I mean, really, this is going to sound really kind of cheesy, but Michael, like meeting my husband and falling in love and getting married, he gave me so much confidence and made me feel like I had power and that I could voice my opinion and I was important and I mattered. And that really, I give him that support. Now, my parents really raised a very opinionated, sassy human being, but I didn't always express and, worried a lot about what other people thought of me. So that's why I love romance. Because see, look, it gave me the expectations to know I needed a man that builds me up and not one that tries to stump me or, hide me in a closet. She hasn't shut up since, Tanya. Thanks, Tanya Lungai. That's what friends say to you. Things like that. I'm coming to steal. She got a pink mixer. She got a pink KitchenAid, like, fancy mixer.
Nice.
It's pink. Anyway, I'm a little angry about it, but it's okay. What's the next question, Leah, before I go off
we
on
already
tangent?
answered those two, so I'm skipping down. Over a Barrel and Under the Bus, they're Greek wineries, the Greek family dynamics. Is it hard to write such a rich and cultural tradition as the Greeks? Because like hardcore Greeks are very traditional.
Tabby, I mean, I don't think I have any, I don't know who's watching, but if anyone's watching from my childhood, there was a girl that we were all friends with who was Greek and had a big Greek family and big Greek personalities. And Tabby is physically based on Demetra. And in my mind, she was also this like larger than life personality and this giant family and how they related to each other. And then having met a couple of Greek families since then, I was always fascinated by that. And so when I was creating the 5 wineries, I knew I wanted somebody who was very specific in their ethnicity.
Okay.
And there are definitely Italian wineries in Sonoma, deep Italian roots. But I wanted to have a wine region and explore kind of the dynamic of most Greek families I know have very large families. And so I thought it was an interesting idea for them to only have one child.
Right.
So I wanted her to have to take up the room that all the other siblings should have. Yeah. So I wanted to give her a wide berth. So I did a lot of research and had a wonderful sensitivity reader, Georgia Kaufman, who she's Greek and has this family and this extended family, and came up with some of the best jokes and some of the best, like, talking about curses and how that is honest to God this, and that's how, the curse that her mom thinks she can't jump, like, because her cousin cursed her as a child. And then I kind of ran a little crazy with the grandma because
I loved Yaya.
oh my God, I love Yaya.
She was like crazy.
Like at one point I was like, this is amazing.
But I wanted to make sure she was grounded in the family, and like that Costas and her, daughter, that they don't even see it. They're like, yeah, that's just Yaya. And like everyone's just like, nobody except Bax ever had a reaction to her not having a shirt on. Like just walking around thinking everyone's an alien, whatever.
That whole like storyline with her, like the alien thing, was so funny.
You know why I did that? Because I thought of the line of Goldie saying, or I think it's Goldie who says it, that talks about, describes the movie. And she's just like, and it sounds nothing like what the movie should be, but everybody knows what she's talking about. Because I really wanted her to have her own kind of bizarre language that the five actually understood, that they all speak fluent Goldie, they all speak fluent Costas because they've been around it so much.
Right. So funny.
And it's like a bonus scene. There was originally a scene in which Tabby's reunion with her family, she actually went and had dinner at the house. And it just got to, we didn't get to the meat of what I needed to get to. So it got cut, but there's a massive scene in which Yaya is featured. So
maybe we should see that in a newsletter where Yaya is at dinner and going crazy.
And the other thing, if Sandy's still here, she asked for Tabby's letter from Bellamy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because those, like, the letters were like a big part of the story.
I have them, and beta readers and my editor all basically said, let it go to the imagination. Let it not, let everyone believe what they're going to believe that Bax's mom said to Bax. Or, I mean, we didn't know.
Sandy says, she needs those letters. Real quick, I'm going to put, she was pissed. Sandy was pissed that the letters were not in the book.
Let me know.
So
I wrote them. I sobbed when I wrote them.
So
Eric walked in and he's like, "What is wrong?" And I'm like, "Bellamy."
I'm just writing. I'm just writing.
He's like, "Who's Bellamy?" And I'm like, well, first of all, she's fake, and second of all, she died like, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Sandy says you have my email, just saying. So I'm going to put Kelly's Facebook group up in the chat. If you are not part of her Facebook group, highly recommend you go on over there and check it out. She gives us wine recommendations. Sometimes there's candy pairing with wine, but we also talk about some pretty good books. So, Leah, you're looking like, are you in Kelly's readers group, Leah?
I don't think I am, but I will be now.
Melissa says, "Oh, that would be so great. The letters, a Yaya story." So here you go. We're gonna.
Everybody wants Yaya. More Yaya.
Yaya novella here.
You know what I've decided, and this will be like a spoiler.
Spoiler.
So each one of the 5 wineries is going to get their own book.
Okay.
At least one book, and then there might be like Crushing to me was a trilogy. This was a duet. The next one is going to be David is just a standalone. David Gelbert's the next book.
David Gelbert. This should be interesting.
Secret baby. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, are you saying who his heroine is, or is it a secret?
Who do you think is heroine? You already know his heroine.
We've met his heroine.
I like his heroine.
Yeah.
I've met his heroine. And Tabby.
It's going to be so good not to touch her.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So if you read the book, you know. No, I think A Secret Baby for him is going to be so good because he's such he's just
He's a dick.
so out of touch. Yes. Well, I was going to say a douche nugget, but he
No,
wasn't
he
quite douche nugget.
He totally is.
Honestly, that's
He
my
is.
favorite thing.
I can't tell you how much fun it is to write a guy who doesn't give a crap. Like, so far, it's been really fun for him to just be his jackassery self.
The
Because
douche nugget.
like every dude I've written has a sense of duty, or he's an alpha dick, or he's a this. David doesn't care.
No,
And so-
David is an asshat. Like,
Yeah.
David's like
You
a
watch-
honey badger. Honey badger don't give a fuck.
you can't even David can't even be like an alpha hole. He is too big to be an alpha hole. Like he is just
David's like on his own like planet all by himself. It's just like it's David.
I know. I really enjoy a 5'2" person bringing him to his knees. Like this
I like this.
little
It's
dynamo.
gonna be
going.
so good.
So Sandy and Melissa are guessing. Gotta love a good ass hat, says Sandy. And Melissa says the admin, right? Melissa, we are not at liberty to name specifically who his heroine might be, but I will say you are maybe right. Maybe. Anyway.
maybe.
Maybe you're right. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit in the beginning, and this is a topic that you and I have talked about a little bit before, Kelly. Illustrated covers. So you made the choice to go with these really pretty, artful, color illustrated covers. However, in romance, there's kind of a love-hate air about illustrated covers. Lots of people say that unless there's a naked man on the front or a bare-chested man on the front, books do not sell. Romance readers supposedly do not want women on their covers. And illustrated covers are okay on a rom-com, but they're not really okay for just contemporary mainstream romance.
So
And
I've
you-
learned.
And
One
we've-
thing I will say about Kelly's covers, though, they're not just illustrated, though. They have that abstract like element to it, which I feel like, honestly, like if I had seen Kelly's covers, not knowing Kelly, I would have been like, "Ooh, I want to read this book." But as an art major, like I was an art major in college, so like that abstract like element like really pulled me in because I was like, "Ooh, I wonder where they're gonna go with this."
Well, I've decided if Tim will still go on this ride with me, that if it's part of the winery and it's part of a series,
Mhm.
I'm going to try to stay in that color palette, in that kind of, it'll switch with each one, but I want to stay illustrated.
Mhm.
However, I'm on the fence right now, and I'm thinking pretty hard about David because it's going to be a standalone, and I kind of want to commit to doing standalones as pictures. Side Piece was a standalone. It sold very well, and so I don't know whether or not to interrupt the winery flow. You guys say no. Okay.
Kelly,
Don't
you
do
and
it.
I will have a meeting in a couple weeks and we'll talk about this. And then I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to stick with what I'm telling you.
All right, well, there's another series that's going to be not, it's going to be kind of independent like 3 independent standalones that I am going to do pictures.
Well,
Mhm.
and Sandy brings up a good point. You know, your covers fit under the new Facebook standards because you don't have a naked chest on it.
Yeah, I got rejected from Facebook because of the naked asses on Crusher.
Well,
And I'm like, they're cartoons.
it's really, yeah, it's more outline than ass.
And
Why do
it's
people
why,
hate nakedness?
to be honest, I could not advertise Crushing, and Rootstock got seriously rejected. And so that is why Uncorked is simple. It is just the corkscrew.
I
with-
love the simplicity of it, though. I
I
really do.
I love it. But it's the reason it has just kind of a sexual innuendo rather than more of a sexual picture is so
Mhm.
that I could advertise it.
You know, it'd be interesting. So, you know, your cover artist has a very clear aesthetic in the first 3, and then the Warhol inspired covers on the next 2. He should pick another like art inspiration for David. Like, I'm thinking like a pixelated, type feel, or like a Monet type watercolor feel for your cover. Kind of each one is like this art inspired cover.
Kind
Anyway,
of what I want to do, and then do the standalones as pictures. I'm going to recover Shock Mount and Crossfade. They were kind of quick things that he and I talked about, but I really think that a picture would suit them well.
for a rock star romance, yes.
It's hard to sell. I mean, they're a romance duet about a love triangle, and it's hard to sell with 3 guitars that say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
as much as I love just the 3 guitars and the simplicity of it, it doesn't tell anything. It doesn't even look romance. It doesn't have.
But I think with the wineries covers, I think you do get that story from the covers, even being like this simplistic illustrated like abstractness to it. I feel like you get what you're buying with those.
And that is, I had input and I had ideas, but it is all Tim. Like
That's amazing.
He's wonderful.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've talked illustrated covers. What's next, Leah?
What's next? Well, we already kind of
next?
talked about it. So we're getting David and his secret baby. Are we ever going to get Sal? Because I like Sal.
Oh, you're so cute. You read Crushing or just the Over a Barrel Under the Bus?
I just did the last 2. I did not read Crushing yet.
Because Sal, if you ever have time, I know you're super busy. Sal,
I'll just add it. It's fine.
Sal appears in those, and he
does more Sal, because I like Sal a lot.
Sal's the villain in the first one.
Oh.
And no, it quickly changes. And
it's good. It's good. He needed to be the villain to make that book move forward.
Yeah.
So to have movement in that book.
Yeah.
Okay. I will forgive you for making Sal a bad guy.
Yeah. No, I love Sal, and he was never intended to be a villain. But yes, there is a Sal and her plot.
Oh yeah. Did you forget her name?
No, I know her name.
Carolina would like to know.
And Carolina, there's a Sam and Sammy book, and there's
Sam and Sammy. That'll be a good one because they're a little kinky.
They're a little kinky.
A little kinky.
A little bit.
Kinky. Yeah. He built apparatuses for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Carolina says, how much wine did you drink for research purposes?
I have had a lot.
She started drinking at like 3:00 today.
No, that was just shots. I only did 4.
only 4 shots of bullet bourbon.
She was prepping her cocktails.
I'm currently drinking a Sonoma Winery imagery.
Just bouncing around tonight.
I primarily drink wine, and I really like it. I believe it's the reason the pandemic was okay.
Tito's vodka. That's all I'm going to say. Tito's vodka.
But each one of my fake wineries is based on a real winery.
Okay. Now, are these wineries that you've like worked at or visited, or?
I worked at a place called Gunlock Bunshoe, which is a crazy name.
I like that though.
Yeah, and each winery is physically based on them, not the families or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Gunlock Bunshoe is the basis for La Chapelle Whittier, which is the crushing stuff,
mm-hmm.
and then Sebastiani Winery is the basis for Staphylia cellars, and then this one, Imagery, is the basis for Langerford. So we only get a glimpse of Langerford at the end of Under the Bus, right? Yeah. Oh yeah. The wedding.
Yeah.
The shower where they have to perform.
Sandy says lemon Moscato. Just saying.
I don't think I've ever heard of lemon Moscato.
Moscato. Moscato is too sweet for me. I like my wines dry, like I like my humor. Bold and big, like my men. Just anyway.
Okay, Becky's off the rails.
I could be here all night, people. All night. You gave me a microphone. Well, I'm now drinking a screaming orgasm. So I'm just, or no, it's not. It's sex on your face. I lied. It was sex on your face.
I mean, that's
anyway.
One can lead to the other.
Okay, so before we I said, let's go to our game. But before we get to our game, I want to put in the chat. So Bookcase and Coffee and Buzzing About Romance, the podcast, are supported by our members of our Patreon. You can join for as little as $2 a month, and we give you some pretty fun, great events and access to some pretty cool stuff. We have Drunk Book Club.
And you can hang out with Becky and I on a regular basis.
On a regular. We have Drunk Book Club tomorrow evening, and then next Saturday we have a special Drunk Book Club with with author Lexi Blake. She actually provided everyone in our Patreon a copy of her book, The Dom Who Loved Me. And Melissa that just joined, I will get you that link so you can download your free copy of the book for that book club. But we do a lot of fun things. And like last Saturday, I was feeling lonely and needed a girls' night. And so I said, hey, who's up for a book chat? And I think there were 8 or 9 of us that sat around and talked books and had a drink. And it was a lovely evening. So anyway, come join us over on Patreon. Sandy says Oliver Winery, and I have the wine taste of a child and only drink sweet wine. That's fine.
I'm not a big fan of dry either. Like,
I'm gonna fix.
I don't like dry wine.
You're gonna fix
I'll drink
that
dry
for
other
her?
things, but
I'm gonna fix it. Yeah,
those are fighting words right there.
I am drinking what's called a Viognier. And it's not sweet, it's dry, but it has a lot of fruit to it. If you have a lot of fruit to a wine, I think you'll be okay. And cold.
You'll have to send me a list.
I will. I'm working on a crazy bottle crush idea.
Okay.
So I post a bottle of wine every Monday, and most of them have been from California, been from Sonoma, to try to tie into the wineries that I love and all these things. I had this weird idea the other day when we were coming home. We were in North Carolina for spring break, which was ridiculously beautiful. And we were driving home and we went to this random place called, I don't know, it had the biggest candle shop in Indiana or something. So we stopped because there was massive fake candles out front and all of that. We're one of those people that would stop to see the Ball of Twine. We've been to the Corn Palace. We love a road trip. So while I was in there, there was this whole section of Indiana wine. And I was like, every state produces wine.
They do.
I bottle crushed every state.
There you go.
That's a great idea.
And so I'm going to have to I'll reach out to, social media and stuff, because I don't know where to go for Alabama wine or, whatever. I got maybe 10 covers.
I can do Ohio wines for you, but we're not drinking the wine off the lake because that stuff is nasty.
Okay. Whether it's nasty or whether it's good, I think it
tastes like Concord grape juice with like Mad Dog 2020, but in a fancy bottle. I swear.
Also, a lot of these places produce fruit wine, so
right.
I know that I'll be drinking, fruit wine at some point. I'm like, why not? Let's see what it is.
A lot of these places too will source their grapes, though. They source their grapes from California. So
no, I want to make sure that it's not sourced. That's why I'm like, okay, give me this, give me that. So I bought this Indiana wine that is with Indiana grapes. So
with Indiana grapes,
hold it till I get to I.
Oh gosh, we're going in alphabetical. We're getting alphabetical order.
I don't know how else to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to keep a spreadsheet, and I don't want to do that.
We could just print off a map. And when you drink one from there, you could color it in.
Okay. This is why I need you.
This is why you need us. Okay. So I know we've been here about an hour. So before we get crazy and do anything else, I want to go ahead and give away the 5 books. So if you are still with us, give me a hey so that I can get your name entered in for the 5 books. People entered they entered on our website. People that follow us on social media entered on Instagram. But you guys that are here will also get an extra entry. Also, any member of our Patreon got an entry also.
Do you have hold on.
I have all the lists. I went through each of our social media.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
I did nothing with that. It was all Becky.
I did this.
I just passed the torch.
Woohoo!
So
Sandy
Melissa said she can suggest some great Oregon wine.
Oh,
And Sandy says you can go for 10 tastings for $40. I think in Indiana.
French
maybe.
Lick Winery in southern Indiana.
yeah. Sandy's super close.
Road trip.
I'm not that far, Kelly. I can be to your front door in like 5 hours. Chicago is not that far. I've done it in a day.
Ow. I just hit my injection site. I just had my second jab on the day that Under the Bus came out and Charlie turned 10. It was quite the day.
It's a big day. You get stabbed. Charlie turns 10.
It was a lot of brain fog until today.
That's what Becky said she had too.
Yeah.
It was really bad brain fog. Tanya is still here.
You just
Okay,
Carolina.
easy.
Okay. So for the 5 copies, Tanya gets her second poke tomorrow.
Yay!
For the 5 copies of the book. So just remember, if you don't win this, because it could be someone that entered on their website or social media, but only people that are watching right now will have a chance to win my silicone wine cup.
And I will throw in there. I have these wine coasters, which I forgot to bring in, that say things like Malbec your ass up or
fancy. Yeah. And then we have a winery themed book sleeve that the girl child sewed with all the corkscrews, and a coffee wrap that is also wine themed, and some swag because I have stickers. I think I'm buying can koozies because I feel like we need can koozies. It's summer almost. Michael's gonna yell at me.
He was like, okay.
I like a can koozie. It keeps but it doesn't fit on my coffee mugs, so I have to use the girl child's coffee things. They keep my coffee because I drink a lot of things out of coffee mugs. My wine goes into a coffee mug. We don't have wine glasses.
Leah's fancy. So the winner of the 5 copies of Kelly's book, we have Spun the Wheel, and we have Books, Blurbs, and Brew. She's from Instagram. So yay! I will tag her. I don't think that it's Whitney, and she's actually part of our reading challenge over on Buzzing About Romance. So I will send her a message and let her know that she won and get that information. Now, if you are still here, give me a hey, and we will get you entered in for my box of goodies. So
what is your box of goodies tonight?
I just showed you. It's the wine, the silicone wine glass, the wine-themed book sleeve, and the coffee mug wrap.
You combine talking about them. That was the confusion there. That was my fault.
Kelly's gonna send you some coasters. So we have Sandy and Carolina and Tanya. Someone cut Leah off because you couldn't remember what I was talking about for my giveaway. I mean, really.
I only had one drink. It's the tequila's fault.
Melissa. Okay, Kelly, pick a number between 1 and 6. 1 and 6.
Oh, 4.
4. Tanya, you won my box of goodies. So we will get that out to you. So yeah, Tanya lives here in my town, but we will get that out to you.
She can just come pick it up.
Well, not until she gets 2 weeks post her second jab. Always blame the tequila. I am drinking the tequila. Okay, Leah, get your game. What game did we play? What game are we playing?
We have a word association game.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to say a word. You have 10 seconds or whatever.
Whatever.
To say the first word you think of.
Okay.
Wait, before we go any farther, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We will be back here next Thursday night with author Lexi Ryan. And I will tell you, if you have not pre-ordered her book, Every Time I Fall, I highly encourage you to put that on your TBR list. This is funny, and Kelly will appreciate this. As I was filling out her discussion points for her happy hour, I kind of started to feel a little bit like a stalker. Like, wow, I spend a lot of time thinking about this woman. I felt kind of bad. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of creepy. Anyway, I'm not creepy. I'm a lot of fun. So come back and join us next Thursday night. Same time, same bat channel. More booze.
The YouTube.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
Okay, word association. Here we go.
All right, you ready? Drink.
Drink?
Drink.
Oh, wine.
I did.
Bacon.
Kevin.
Romance.
Eric.
Oh,
my husband.
that's so sweet.
That is
That's
sweet.
her husband. Someone said, bacon. Someone said eggs. I thought they were, because there's a little delay between us and the chat. So it said eggs. It said romance eggs.
I mean, to each his own.
Sandy says romance sex. Her answer is sex.
No.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
Snow.
Snow? No. A
No.
lot of snow this year.
There was a lot of snow this year. I remember your storm that you guys had. You kept posting pictures of it.
My
There's
God.
so much snow.
So much snow. No
Yuck.
thanks.
Sandy says yuck. Yuck for
Yuck.
Yeah, she got the same.
Happy.
Now.
Vodka.
Good.
best.
Peanut butter.
Allergic.
Aw.
Jelly.
Not me, Charlie, but it's always top of mind.
Yeah.
And I miss it, to be honest.
I can see that.
You can come to my house. I always have Reese's peanut butter cups and eggs.
Literally, when I'm away from him and I know I'm going to be away from him for a little bit, I have room service to peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then backed it up with a Reese's sundae.
I feel you, sister.
And then did the full body detox.
Yeah.
So
And then you take a Silkwood shower, just like you're in a nuclear reactor. Just
Melissa says ski for snow.
all right, Chicago.
home.
North.
Aw.
What'd you say?
North.
North, up, north, Michigan.
That's right.
He's
Kelly,
up.
will you go up north to Michigan this summer?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let us
Where
know.
we spent 4 months of the pandemic there this last summer. My husband has a whole cottage and family and all that stuff, and we were lucky enough to escape the city and have a full house to ourselves instead of an apartment.
That's lovely.
Nice.
I will up north is beautiful, and I already told Jacinda and Jack Wilder that I was going to come stalk them, and they're like, "Come on, we'll take you to lunch." I'm like, "Great, let's go."
Where are they?
Near Petoskey, they're kind of in one of the peninsula off of Petoskey.
Yeah, we're not far from there, but up the peninsula, up Leelanau Peninsula. They're the opposite.
Yeah.
We're making our list of places we're just gonna go and just stop at people's houses and be like, hi.
Come on up.
Exactly. Okay, where did I stop? Coffee.
Oh, necessary. It's my favorite thing.
I tell my family that I love them, but not as much as I love coffee. Like it's coffee and then Mike. Always coffee. Coffee never lets you down. Coffee doesn't yell at you. Coffee only is accepting and loving. I mean, I never make coffee mad.
Feel good every time.
Every time. Anyway, Sandy says coffee is yuck. Oh, Sandy. You're not drinking the right coffee then, sister.
No.
Coffee is everything.
I can respect that. I have good friends who are tea or as they would say in the Midwest, pop, but having grown up in the East Coast, it's soda. So I can respect that. I can see it.
Pop. I'll pop you. That's what I'll do. But we drink soda.
Yeah, we drink soda.
All right.
Drink Coke.
Red.
Balloon only because it's behind me. Like I got nothing.
Red wine. You could have gone with wine.
I almost said poppy because here's the thing, when you were talking about pantsers and plotters, I currently have maybe 7 books going. And when things occur to me, I just stick them in a document. And sometimes it's a full chapter. Sometimes it's a line. Sometimes it's a character trait. So I actually wrote Sal, a Sal scene. I came up with a plot point that you probably won't like, but I came up with a plot point yesterday. And so I wrote about her a lot yesterday.
To be in Kelly's head.
Yeah, my head is scattered.
Kelly's one of those, if we like medicated her for ADHD, she wouldn't be able to write. Like it wouldn't work. She needs the chaos to be inspired.
Oh, I sent my draft off for Under the Bus off to my editor who is in Ireland, who I love, Amy, and she was literally doing like the final check of like copy edit and proofreading and doing all this stuff. And I rewrote the first 70 pages. Like literally, I was like, you need to stop what you're doing. Like I rewrote this. She's like, you need to step away. Like step away from the document.
Sandy says your brain is like kittens in a box.
Kind of true. It's
all
kind of true.
And
yeah.
Whichever
You're right,
one
Danica.
Story that gets told.
Pop is weird. It's weird to call soda pop.
I agree.
It's weird.
Okay,
Leah, what do you call it? Because you're in Pennsylvania.
I call it pop.
We'll break you of it. Don't worry. So Danica was like, oh, so I'm not the agent of chaos then. Kelly is giving you a run for your money there, Danica.
Sorry, Danica.
It's all good.
Crown. I'm nuts.
All right. Next we have cheese.
You're not going to believe me, but the first thing that comes to mind is Camisola.
Camisola.
What is
that?
Favorite
cheese. It's a kind of cheese.
Okay, fancy.
It is a
fancy cheese.
Cheese with a blue cheese kind of vein going through it. So it's like brie with blue cheese in it. And oddly enough, yeah, it's incredible. And there is a burger in Sonoma at a place that I have referenced often in the books, The Girl and the Fig. It is my favorite burger on the planet, and it comes with Camisola on it.
That's so interesting. Okay, so since we're talking about cheese, here we go to our Kroger for fancy cheese, is what we call it, the fancy cheese. Or we go to Aldi's, but really we go to Kroger for the fancy cheese.
Yeah, Aldi always has fancy cheese.
They do, but I live in Ohio and people here are crazy. And so Aldi's, I don't often go, at least during the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, I went all the time. During the pandemic, there are reasons I just don't go. So I go to the Kroger and we bought the girl child some cheese, and it was crunchy cheese. And I'm like, what do you mean? It had these little like crystallized pieces in the cheese from
Was
it.
a multi-year aged Gouda?
It was a multi-year aged cheddar, actually.
Yeah,
And
it'll
it's
crystallize in it. It's really yummy.
Yeah, it's so she like constantly will be like, "Hey, can we get some crunchy cheese?" I'm like, "Please don't tell people your mother serves you crunchy cheese. They're gonna think I'm giving you like some kind of crack or something." Anyway, so now we have crunchy cheese, and there was like a smoked one that she really liked. That was
Sounds awesome.
crunchy
I like a
cheese.
smoked cheese. Smoked crunchy cheese.
I love crunchy cheese.
Charcuterie boards. Here we come, people. And I need meat roses. That's all I'm saying. If you're making me a charcuterie plate, I need meat roses.
A salami rose.
A salami rose.
Rose.
Mhm.
Give me your meat and a roast.
Life, I will make you a salami rose.
There you go. I see it on the TikTok all the time.
I'll present it like The Bachelor.
I
Will
choose you,
put your
Pikachu. I choose you, Pikachu, with my salami robes. Carolina, yay for meat roses. You aren't kidding, sister. I got a Pikachu reference in there for Charlie. He likes Pikachu.
It works.
He's a fan.
He is a
Anyway.
fan. Okay. Chocolate.
No, thank you.
What?
I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm not sure we heard you correctly.
I don't know
Okay.
if we can be
Thank you for
trusted.
joining us on this live Buzzing About Romance happy hour. We're done. What?
I don't like chocolate.
Who
I
are
like
you?
M&Ms. That's it.
M&Ms are chocolate.
I know, that's the only chocolate I like.
Oh my
I'm sorry.
Son finds it very disturbing, but also very lovely, because if someone gives us chocolate, he knows that it's like all his. Well, no, my husband.
Did you fall down the stairs a lot as a child? Off the bed? Hit your
To
head a
eat lead
lot?
paint.
Did you? Are you a window licker, Kelly? Did you lick the window often?
Possibly.
Okay, that explains it. Kelly
That's
likes
why
windows.
I write on them.
No, that's why she doesn't like chocolate. Although my mother doesn't like chocolate. So, I mean, I get it, but
I know, I'm a weirdo. Pudding and chocolate. No, thank you.
Well, pudding's just kind of.
no, wait. I like rice pudding and tapioca pudding. I like pudding with texture.
Oh God, that's the worst.
She
If
likes
my
the
sister were
crunchy
still
pudding.
watching, she would be laughing her ass off, because that's my nightmare.
I love some good rice pudding. Oh, tapioca with the little bubbles. Anyway,
Oh God, any pudding or pudding-like thing, flan. No,
It's a
thank you.
weird texture. It's the textures.
wait. So, how do you feel about ice cream?
Oh, I like ice cream,
It's different than pudding, though.
and I'm
It's
not a big sweet girl. Like savory. Like I can finish a bag of Doritos, but I can.
I
walk
love
away
me some bread.
Or, oh yeah.
Sandy agrees. Pudding is gross.
But Danica says she loves rice pudding too. So, Team Becky.
All right. Fine.
It's like whatever.
Anyway, so bourbon.
Right here. Hold on. I knocked this off.
Kelly's breaking stuff.
No.
Eric's
I-
gonna like come in and be like, "Okay, we need to be done now."
It is his office.
Eric, if you're
Cannot
still
do this
watching,
again.
we're so sorry, but we love you.
Bourbon.
Warm bread, olive oil, and Parmesan all day. Okay, so at the Kroger where they sell the fancy cheese,
The
they have to
crunchy.
live, or the crunchy cheese, but they also sell fancy cheese. So I live in Ohio, and that Yarsboro Swiss cheese is big around here because we got all the Amish people that make it. So the Kroger makes this spread. And I swear to God, all it is the Yarsboro cheese, red onions, and mayonnaise. it makes this spread, and I like to spread it on a baguette and put it in the oven under the broiler so it becomes warm, bubbly cheese on the baguette.
You're making me hungry.
I'm
It's
a
so
fan
good.
of warm bubbly cheese.
I do like warm,
some
bubbly cheese.
cheese.
It's
Yeah.
very good.
I think that is crazy when you don't love warm bubbly cheese. Although I do have a friend who doesn't like cheese, who told me he would not watch tonight because he has to go to sleep. But I'm like, okay.
Okay.
But he doesn't
He
like
can watch
cheese.
on the rewind.
But I've been with him at a Mexican restaurant where he asks for dishes without cheese. And it's the best.
We had a friend whose husband would order pizza with no cheese. Like he doesn't like cheese at all. Even so much that I make this pepperoni bubble bread. So, Leah, you don't know this. Kelly had a pepperoni roll.
No, I do know this, which actually I had a pepperoni roll a couple days ago and I thought of you when I was eating it because I was like, Kelly just had one of these.
So I make a pepperoni bubble bread, and I usually use butter and Parmesan. It's like savory monkey bread, basically. But instead of cinnamon sugar, it's Parmesan cheese, butter, and pepperoni. And he wouldn't eat it because he wouldn't eat the dried Parmesan. So, oh, Melissa says at her Kroger, they call it Chad's dip. And Carolina, you're right.
I enjoy that it has a formal
Name, right?
Chad.
Carolina's like, what? Mexican dishes without cheese? And Bianca's like, just order tomato pie pizza without cheese. Just order tomato pie.
No, watching Dale order. And he lives in Orlando, Carolina. And so we'll go, if we're visiting, and we go to a Mexican restaurant because he loves Mexican food, but he doesn't.
Isn't that kind of an oxymoron? Mexican food, no cheese.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. I've seen him order, chilaquiles. I've seen him order enchiladas without cheese. And they're like, look at him like, I don't know how to do that. They're like,
Yeah.
just like a pile of tortillas and the meat on the side. And he's like, no, I want it all together.
So really what dude just needs to do is sit there and shut up and eat the chips and salsa. This is how much I love cheese. I have bought these Wisp things. If you've never had these,
Those are good.
Yeah, those
they are
good.
delicious, crispy little cheese crackers things. So anyway, I mean, I'm obsessed. I like crunchy cheese too. Anyway, all the
All right,
cheese.
we're going off on cheese. Was there another word I had to associate?
No, we're good.
We're good. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us for this
Thank
happy
you.
hour. It's always a pleasure and a delight to chat with you.
It was so good to be here. I adore the both of you. Thank you.
No, thanks for coming on. I loved your books. I'm so excited we get to talk about them some more.
Really? Thank you. That's so nice to hear. I know what you read, so that means a lot to me.
It's true, you too.
Okay. Next time we'll see you next Thursday. Whoever joins us next Thursday. Carolina says congratulations. Everyone have a great weekend, and we'll see who we see tomorrow night at Drunk Book Club.
Bye, everybody.